Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another apartment renovation, and this is going to be a small apartment for a larger family. I end up having a total of 7 Sims living in this apartment, and this is 2B Jasmine Suites in the Spice District of San Myshuno. So it's not the biggest apartment, it's not the smallest, but I was able to fit a fairly large family in here. They're probably going to want to go ahead and upgrade to a bigger space at some point, as one of the Sims in here is a newborn that I have sharing a bedroom with the parents. So eventually there is going to be an upgrade needed, or maybe one of the beds in the other rooms will become a bunk bed. I suppose that could work as well. But I just liked the idea of trying to see how many Sims I could fit into a small space. I did that recently with a micro home I made for 8 Sims, but today I wanted to see how many Sims I could fit comfortably in a smaller apartment. So I really hope you will enjoy how this one comes out. If you do and you'd like to download it for yourself, this apartment is available right now on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will be in the description down below as well. So right now I have just placed down where I think the kitchen is going to go, and then I'm placing down some windows as well. I thought for the living space I had available, the best use of that would be to have the kitchen kind of tucked away mostly on one wall, and then have the living room over on the other side of the room, and the dining space sort of where all of the windows are. I also considered putting down this tile in the kitchen, and I kind of like it, but really what it did was inspire the color scheme for this space. I realized I really liked green against these more orange cabinets. So I ended up going with a green sofa, which we should be grabbing here shortly, but it all started with the green tile in the kitchen. And it ends up being this sofa from the high school years pack. I just thought the green looks so nice in this space with the wood colors. So I end up being very much inspired by that, but we are going to get rid of the green tile on the floor and on the walls and just bring it in through the sofa and a couple of other decoration items that I will be placing down later on. But here is where our dining space is going to be. It only has 4 seats at it, but I do decorate this house to have 2 parents, 2 kids, 2 toddlers, and a baby. So technically you only need 4 seats right now. So I feel like it was okay that I only put that many there, but you could probably add a high chair or 2 into this space if you would prefer, and it should be fine. There's plenty of space in this room. You're just going to want to take away a couple pieces of decor that I ended up placing down. Or I end up putting down one of those little baby mats where they can lay down and play with the toys. I don't have a infant in this house yet, so they don't technically need that item yet, so you could probably get rid of that and have more space for the table to have more chairs at it. But you'll see me place that down in a little while. I just like the storytelling element of it. Maybe the toddlers just recently aged up into toddlers, and so they're not using it anymore, or they got it recently for their newborn and they will be using it in the coming months. Just an idea. But anyway, working on the living space now, I grabbed this chair from the Nifty Knitting Pack. It matches perfectly with the chair or the couch from high school years. I really liked that, including the pillow on it. Just the same swatches were so nice. And then I placed down my favorite of the different doll houses that are in the game. I really like this one because it looks like the kids made it out of a bunch of items they found around the house. And I just think it's really realistic and has some more imagination involved. So I tend to like to use that one when I can. But just fixing the curtains now, and then I get a lamp over in the corner as well as a place to hang up some family portraits. I always like to do that in family homes, so there is space for you to put your own photos of your Sims that are living in the space. And I also brought in an exposed brick wall in here, as I like to do that in city apartments, and I just feel like it warmed up the space a lot and helped to make it feel a little bit more cozy. And then right now I am going through and grabbing a bunch of different items from the kitchen clutter kit to clutter up the kitchen and the dining space. So I get some utensils by the stove as well as some of these jars. There's also a Lazy Susan that I put on the coffee table, or not the coffee table, on the dining table. And I also got some open cereal boxes on this little island piece, which is also from that kit. I thought it looked really nice there. And then right next to the kitchen is where the entryway is. So I decided to put a small entryway table, which is a table from I think it's a side table technically, or like a bedside table, but it's from Tiny Living. And I put a couple of pairs of shoes under it, which I thought was really cute, as well as a lamp and a place to throw down your keys and some like extra change and receipts and stuff like that as you walk in the door. And then this empty wall right next to the front door I thought was the perfect spot to go ahead and put the parenting board, as I imagine that would be very useful in this house of so many kids. So I placed that down, and then I'm trying to figure out what color to paint the walls in here because I really didn't like the beige that I had before. So I was trying to figure out what the best thing to do would be. And I ended up going with this green in the end. And I also ended up closing off this room and making the hallway into a proper hallway by putting an archway separating the two spaces. And then here is that little play mat that I had mentioned earlier that could be for a infant once the baby ages up into an infant. Anyway, now I am decorating the top of the fireplace. I ended up just having some books up here as well as one of those, I don't know what to call it. It's a like memory box type item. You can put different items in it to have them passed down to the future generations. It came with the Growing Together pack. And I think it's a really cool item, and it looks nice as clutter as well. So I tend to add it to my spaces, especially for families. And then over by the dining table, I put some arts and crafts up on the table and also a Blarfy doll. So your Sims can go ahead and play with that when they're out in the living space, especially because the bedrooms are quite small. So I couldn't fit like a bunch of toys or anything in them. I thought having a space to play out in the living space made the most sense. And the bedrooms were mostly for going to sleep and storing their clothing and things like that. So there's definitely some personality in the bedroom still, but they are on the smaller side, so I couldn't fit a lot of activities in them, I should say. But anyway, we are decorating our one and only bathroom here, which is quite small for having so many Sims using this, but I was able to fit all of the necessities in here. We have a shower, a sink, a toilet. There's also a toddler potty in here, even a plant. And I put a decorative piece in the corner, which I should be grabbing here shortly, that allows it to look like it's storage for extra towels and stuff like that. Yeah, this one from Horse Ranch. But if you decide to have a cat or dog in this space, you could probably fit a litter box over there or whatever else you would like. And that should function just fine. It's a pretty good sized bathroom. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the bathroom. And we should be going into the primary bedroom now to go ahead and furnish. I love the bassinet that I put over in the corner, and I feel like I never use bassinets anymore. Ever since we got infants, I always decide to decorate spaces for infants with the larger cribs. But since that update, we have also gotten some more bassinets through different packs and different updates. So I decided to use one of those in here. I thought it was really pretty. And then I'm using one of my favorite beds in the game, which is from Businesses and Hobbies. I use it a lot, but I just think it's really nice. And the blue swatch here, I don't know if I've ever used before, but it matched the wallpaper quite nicely. And then just picking out some art to put up above the bed and a hanging plant in the corner. And then this rug from Horse Ranch I thought was absolutely perfect for the space. And of course, decorating the bedside tables with a little bit of clutter. I kept it fairly simple. I just didn't feel like this house was going to be too cluttered or this apartment was going to be too cluttered. They try to keep the amount of items they have to a minimum since there are so many Sims here and they don't want it to get too messy. But I feel like it easily could get so cluttered and so busy. I just wanted to make sure it was functional, so that was the main reason why I didn't clutter it up too much, but I do really like decorating like incredibly cluttered, messy spaces. So if that's something you would like to see sometime soon, leave me some suggestions in the comments and hopefully I can go ahead and build something like that. But this one was definitely more so on the organized side. But anyway, I just finished decorating the dresser in here. I just have a jewelry box and a plant, and then we are moving on into the toddler's room, where I used a couple of these toddler beds from the Eco Lifestyle pack. I think they're my favorite toddler bed in the game. I just think they are so cute how they sort of have like a canopy over the top and also sort of look like they're made out of popsicle sticks, like really giant popsicle sticks. I just think it's really cute. And then I added a light between the beds that has the little fox on the bottom and a couple of stuffed animals and just some little decor pieces that make this look like a very young child's bedroom. I did my best to go ahead and decorate it that way and have some personality in the space. So they have a bunch of stuffed animals and this little basket that looks like a fox. There's also a rug in here with mountains and the sun on it. And I should be painting some of the walls or one of the walls blue just to get a little bit of contrast. And I believe I was able to fit one toy in here as well. Yeah, we have one of the large stuffed animals over in the corner for them to play with. And then I got a lamp in here too. And I think that is it for their room. just changing some of the swatches, and we should be heading into the hallway to get another spot to hang up some family photos, and then going into our last bedroom, which is a kid's bedroom, where I used these 2 single beds from the Growing Together pack in a couple of different swatches. One is more blue, one is more pink, and I put one of my favorite dressers between them from the Parenthood pack, and then just picking out a rug and getting some decorations up on the dresser. I end up getting a lamp, I believe a basketball as well, and some books and a little robot toy. I just wanted to have some things that showed the personality of the Sims living in this space, some things that they enjoyed to play with, and then I'm just grabbing some posters, and that should be it for this build. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And a massive thank you to my YouTube members for your continued support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button below the video or the link in the description. Please enjoy the screenshots, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye everyone.